Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Susan. Diana from University Guadalajara. Hi, Robin from France. Are there other students here? Yes. Yeah, a few. Unfortunately, I cannot welcome everyone here. That will take us too much time. But it might still be interesting who is here. Therefore, allow me a small introduction round with a few blanket questions. Okay? If there are any scientists among the guests, I ask you to applaud this now. Okay, yes, a few. Is someone coming from the agriculture sector? Who is in the politician office? Who is screaming here?
Here.
Mhm. Someone in a nation conservation volunteers actively call out loud, yes. Please, and how many men are here? Please call, yeah. Good. And women? Oh. Who has a pet? A dog, a cat, a horse, a crocodile? Just make the animal sound now. Who was that with the crocodile? I could go on doing this for so long, but you can already see how differently structured we are here in this little round. And the same differently structured is in the society in which we live. We have bakers, we have shoemakers, we have doctors, teachers, people who clean up the garbage, musicians who enjoy our art, journalists who provide us with news, pastors who care about our souls, or they would like to. Our life is varied, colorful, and adapted to the functioning. Suppose we live in a city where all men are just bankers and all of them have a dentist as a woman. Everyone has one, not all the same one. Although the men all have good teeth, and the woman would certainly have all invested their money well, but who cares about the education of their children? Who repairs the cars? Who take care of the food? So you can see such a life would not work. And it would also be boring. And it is the same in the nature, of which we are a part. It just works, it can only work, when everything is aligned and everything has its place, or can have it, where it should be. If there were no musicians, that would be a pity. If we could not buy shoes anymore, that would be uncomfortable, but we would not die from it. But if no one dispose of the garbage or grow fruit, and does not the music also provide a little for our mental health? How about the nature around us? How do all species depend on each other, so that the system nature works stable and healthy? Does it need all species at all? And to what extent are humans depend on this system nature? Why should we protect it? And the big question, how? To find some answer to this question, that's why you are here today, and I would like to welcome you. Yes, that could be the beginning of a 2-day symposium which I would like to organize together with the nature conservation organization Bund Naturschutz in the spring of next year. My name is Uwe Reuter. I'm a PR consultant and a journalist, and I want to become a biodiversity ambassador. In order to understanding of how the biodiversity system works, I'm currently working on various projects, all of which have something to do with environmental education. One of the projects for which I am currently research for topics and speakers is just a biodiversity symposium here where I live for people who live here. So not a scientific symposium, but one with very practical tips and recommendations for action. I live here in Germany, down here in the south, very close to the Alps and to the border of Austria, in the district of Altötting, which is about 570 square kilometers. But best of all, I will take you a little through my home. On the one hand, our economy is very much influenced by the petrochemical industry. We here in the district of Altötting belongs to the so-called Bavarian Chemical Triangle, with companies such as oil refinery and manufacture of silicon wafers. That's the things for the solar cells. We also have a large company that produce the basic substances of laundry detergents, and a lot of such companies more. On the other hand, we have a lot of farmers with grassland, wheat, and of course lots of corns. Monoculture. Yes, right now it's nothing growing. At the moment the spring is still fighting with the winter. Through our district also flow some rivers, as here you can see, for example, the Inn, which springs in Switzerland and then about 80 kilometers further down flows into the Danube. Here in the district live about 100,000 people and 24 different communes, such as in this beautiful city, Burghausen, with the longest castle in Europe, which you can see here in the background behind me. Of course, we also have large areas with forests here. Almost a third of the area here is wooded in a park with a large state forest and with many small private forests. Okay, here I am in the town Altötting, in the front of the Event and Congress Center Forum. This is the place where our biodiversity symposium will take place next year. And from this project I will tell you more now. Yes, large industrial plants, urban sprawl, fragmentation of the landscape with roads, monoculture, all contribute to the decrease of biodiversity. And yet the politicians on the top have already understood there are some very ambitious biodiversity strategy here in Germany, and a lot has already been achieved at a few individual places. But the decrease of biodiversity they couldn't stop. More than 75% decline over 27 years in total flying insect biomass in protected areas. The publication of a study here in Germany startled the press a few months ago, and pictures of China, like this one here, where people are already pollinating, show what catastrophic consequences the insect killing can have. And our district? After all, I'm in favor of nature conservation, but human lives are more important than a few frogs. That is what a local politician said here a few years ago to promote the construction of a new highway. Beavers? We don't need that. They just destroy the rivers. Geese? Should be shot down. They just shit on the beach. Biodiversity? Yes, have I heard from. Biodiversity strategy? Which strategy? Yes, we still have a lot of windmills that we have to fight against. But there are all enough other people too. In conversations in which I explain something about nature, I often look into big eyes and amazed faces. Oh, in fact, I didn't know, I don't know that at all. Yes, they are interested. They have just no idea. And that's where the idea came from. We want to change that. We have to get to the base, or as we say so well, we want to pick the people up where they live, in their home country. Local politicians, farmers, church leaders, homeowners, industry bosses, they all have or manage land and buildings. And of course the teachers, media representatives. They can put this information into stories. All of them and much more can do something active here on site. But what and how? That's what we want to tell them here at a symposium. 2 days with a lot of exciting and interesting informations from the world of the biodiversity and lots of workshops with lots of tips. How can I actually do something here to protect biodiversity? Whether the green stripes on the left and right of the streets should be transformed into a civic landscape, or whether farmers with variety hedges provide migratory corridors for insects, or church officials will give baits asylum in the roof of the church and incremental provide for more churchgoers, or whether the gardener provides more variety with a dead wood pile. There are many possibilities what everyone can do. With this symposium we want to give people a knowledge that they can think about, and a knowledge with which they will eventually, hopefully, make the right decision to preserve biodiversity and to preserve their own homeland. So or so, we still have the choice. That's the title of the symposium, and that means everyone should also be aware of the consequences of their decisions. That is the aim of the symposium here in my district. You have now learned what I am working on, what is my contribution to the conservation of biodiversity. What I have not told you yet is why I do that. Well, best I will show you. Annika? This is my daughter Annika. She's the best reason to become a biodiversity ambassador. Annika, these people all wants to save a little bit of the world.
Hello.
Come on, Annika, let's save the universe. And don't forget to vote.